lore is something of a necessary evil when it comes to game franchises. Why am I exploring these ancient ruins submerged in water? You want a lore reason for that? Okay, fine, if you don't, everyone you know and love will perish. Fair. Go have fun, Jesus. There are sequels that have nothing to do with previous releases, sequels that do, and even spin-offs that do. Way more than they probably should. Because the price of admission for dicking around on Metropolis is encyclopedic knowledge of every murder in human memory. But games can have lore now, it's 2024, get over times, old man. And while at times it can be a bit tough to wrap your head around what in the piss is going on here, it can be really fun and rewarding to learn about, especially because it means that you get to see incredible pieces of filmmaking like this in perfect context. Sometimes it's just depressing, but let's ignore that for now. So this goes without saying, but I love lore. I mean, this is my favorite game franchise because of course it is. And God forbid you skip a single DS game about that time they put bugs in Riku.
Mickey! It's Riku! They put bugs in him!
What?
So this video is gonna be me yapping about video game lore, making a bunch of very hilarious jokes.
There's many humor and jokes on here.
So, why am I making this video? Well, there are videos you make because you want to, and there are videos you make because if you don't, it will slowly eat away at you from the inside. Like that poison mist sub you can use in Splatoon. Okay, let's talk about Splatoon. Excellent segue, me. Okay, I should explain myself a little better. While I don't think games should give you a story reason to do every little thing, a good story can be the difference between why am I killing Shredder Ballthings in Arendelle with Donald and Goofy, and it makes perfect sense that I'm killing Shredder Ballthings in Arendelle with Donald and Goofy. If it's good for anything, a good story can make whatever you're asking a player to do feel just a little bit less insane. You can't just kill the giant squid if you just need the lore for it. Okay, I'm done with a preamble, although I could keep going. So now it's time to talk about the game where you help humanoid squid people, a giant salmon, and an octopus DJ defeat a giant bear with a vacuum cleaner attached to a If Splatoon is good at anything, it's its narrative about the destruction of mankind. But a close second would be disconnecting you from the match. It also has good world building, I guess. You have your basic turf war, but if you're sick of experiencing the joys of Nintendo Switch Online, just be an undercover agent and stop a guy who wants to cause the extension of all marine life, no biggie, while learning about some of the fun lore. I just find it really funny that all three of the protagonists in the story mode are just these random children. Like, does he know what he's doing? Can he really be off to risk his life to touch a funny fish? But what do you want him to do? A test? That shit's for nerds. If you can use a super soaker, you're ready to... But I know what you're thinking. Story campaign? Stories are for fucking nerds. Isn't there anything else I can play? Well, yeah, of course, the online. Just buy the DLC. That's right, we have 2 DLCs. You control an Octoling guy and escape the Matrix. The DLCs are great, giving us some really fun interaction between Marina and Pearl, and oh goddammit guys, not again. The stories are always so significant to Marina and Pearl, but they're still disconnected from the core campaigns. And they're a bit more laid back than the entire fate of your species rests on your hands. Overall though, they're just a really great time. And great for taking a break from realizing they actually suck at video games. Whatever, that doesn't matter. What's so great about this franchise is that all of these game modes are somehow connected. The outcome of Splatoon 2's final Splatfest, for example, decided the events of Splatoon 3's DLC. Like, that's just really cool. It's the first time I've ever seen a game's lore be decided by the players. Because if more people had voted for Team Order, this DLC and the lore around it would be completely different. The game even has in-universe bands and clothing brands for music and outfits respectively. What kind of enlightenment did the developers achieve to the point where they decided to make individual band cover names for every song in the game? Seriously, this is incredible. There was even that arc where Big Man got cancelled and then Sheva and Fry made a diss track about him, and then Big Man produced the diss track for them. Splatoon is very fun. Now what's this shell game? I'll just come back in 2 hours. And while I wait, why don't I play some Kingdom Hearts? Okay, it's been 37. The best way I can describe Kingdom Hearts is a Disney Final Fantasy crossover thing. It's hard to really call it one because the FF characters don't really make a huge impact on the story, and they aren't even in Cage 3 if you don't count Remind, but it has Moogles, it counts. I think anyone who knew the slightest thing about this franchise was instantly wondering, how did it come to this? How do you combine this with haha Disney, you can't do shit, This is public domain. Well, here's how we got Sephiroth, Leon, and Winnie the Pooh being in the same game. Sora got taken from his planet, and Donald and Goofy are trying to find the Keyblade because the Keyblade is the only thing that can unlock Kingdom Hearts and combat the Heartless. So what happens next is
It's
family-friendly fun, don't worry. This whole premise means that Nomura can put whatever he wants in these games as worlds. Because after Sora meets Dolan and Goofball, he needs to harness the power of toxic positivity to fly the Gummy Ship, where you can explore new Disney worlds to find your friends and King Michael. Your friends are Kairi, the bad bitch you can't be fucked with. God damn it, Kairi. Riku, who's such good friends with Ansem, they have matching pajamas. And the three that are also dead now, but they're important, so who cares? Wanna roll for Monsters Inc? Frozen? Tron? They got you covered. If Disney owns it, anything is possible. Anything. Okay, but seriously, if it happens, I will scream. Speculation is like Smash DLC fighter hype, but with less Fire Emblem and more murder.
No! Please don't! I don't want to!
Goodbye.
Not only do we have the juicy plot development of people dying and then coming back to life, that happens a lot in this series, but also Woody giving the verbal smackdown to young Xehanort.
Friend. My guess is no one's ever loved you before.
But this entire franchise was worth it for the command board. Okay, if someone lands on a property, I will have enough money to get the goal and win the game. I've been trying to win this board for the last 2 years. This series serves a genuinely important purpose for a lot of people. Kids like to have more adult themes in their media. And I would know that more than anyone, because we like them because they make us feel like adults and like mature people. And I think there's something to be said about not all kids media talking down to you, or being whatever the hell this shit is. Because despite this being for kids, there are still those silly moments of
left me in this shadow prison for more than a decade, knowing what it would do to me.
Stop fucking crying, bitch! Where? I don't wanna
it's not like deep or anything, but there's not one mention in the franchise of segments from a high with level 10 and a grimace shake that gives you unspoken. So it's a whole lot better than your average kids media. Hopefully KH4 has a zombies 2 role so Sora can learn how to be an alpha.
The world at large has told you.
Be an alpha, got to stand up.
But one of the coolest things a video game can do is look for mythology and history. Like, look mom, this game isn't pointless. How else would I have known that Zagreus is a femboy twink? As a former Percy Jackson fan, that's right, I do have no friends. How pathetic of you. I think it's really cool how these games can pull from mythology in a natural feeling way. Obviously none of these are going to be very faithful to the millennia old source material. So yeah, a video game won't replace your history teacher. Games aren't real, what a shock. You got your ACs and your gals obviously, but I like the direction they took with Hades most. The hot Hades, not the James Woods Hades. Although, I guess you could be into that too. Hades followed because of the incredible combat, interesting mechanics, and nothing else, I swear. The way it somehow crosses rolled out of nothing but Greek mythology, and with interesting, cool, and funny characters, like, how does this work so well? Hades follows Zagreus trying to escape the underworld because Nyx is not the mother. But when you're killed during an escape attempt, you die. Then you're sent back to the House of Hades, where you can talk to femboy twinks, sleepy femboy twinks, and
Thought I might find you all the way out here.
But here's the thing about starting a new escape attempt. You gotta do it all over again. I don't care if you die to the final boss, your next run is gonna start on the first floor of Tartarus. That's right, this game is a roguelite, but you can earn new abilities and upgrades every run to make the game slightly easier and slightly easier and slightly easier until you can finally escape. And that's the gameplay loop. Attempt, die, twink, repeat. Go have fun. You also talk to different gods who hate this guy's ass, and they'll help you out by giving you cool abilities. Anything from a shield that activates whenever you dash to, oh gee, things like can fish better that'll help out when So go out and escape the underworld, or just spend all your money on a new rug, you do you. As you run into new Greek characters, you got the gods, the Furies, oh my god, that's the guy from... Yeah, alright. But you know what? Just go play it. It's fun even when you turn the game... I'm not gonna make that. What else can I say? It uses Greek mythology. Mario is kind of a weird thing for me to be talking about because this will just so obvious. But trust me, this will be kind of interesting still, maybe, I hope. You know what? I'll put Family Guy funny moments, Subway Surfers, and a car rolling down a hill just for you as a treat. I just love Mario as a world. The enemies are cute and remind me of that one meme of the guy who's about to lose everything in his life, and then he does the little Koopa dance, and it's very funny. Luigi and Mario have such a wholesome relationship, and by the way, don't start with that shit about how Luigi's living in Mario's shadow. The year of Luigi may have been Nintendo's worst performing year ever, sales-wise, but it's not like they weren't putting out games then. You could have bought those, but you didn't! You didn't! Luigi had his chance to stand out. He had his chance to do his own thing, and you responded by not buying any of Nintendo's games. This is Luigi's fault. This is your fault. This is the world's fault. Okay, moving on. And just look at the good time everyone's always having in these games. Look at his face. Absolutely ecstatic. Anyway, I am jazzed as, pardon my French, hell about brothership. Fuck. We haven't had a game in this series since Alpha Dream went bankrupt. Oh god. That was 5 years ago already. It's been a long time coming, and Luigi is dead. Also, if we consider the mainline games to be stage plays, then that means that Mario is the Taylor Swift of Mushroom Kingdom. Every game franchise has its own little rules concerning how important the previous games in the series are to the new ones. There are some that have no connection outside of a few small similarities. There are some where every game in the series is important, but it's not a big deal if you miss a couple. And there are some where you have to play every single game in the series, including the spin-offs, and I say spin-offs with very heavy air quotes. This is my script, by the way. Then there are those sequels that no one cares about despite the success of the original game.
People, please play Shrek, it is good, I swear.
And most of these fall into the category of a sequel to a game in a bigger franchise, but it's not like a new installment or anything. It's literally a direct sequel to one of the games in the series. But like Persona 6 is not a sequel to Persona 5. It is just a new game in the series. And Persona 5, a sequel to Persona 5 would be like a direct sequel. So something like Persona 5 Strikers, and that's why people don't take video games seriously. And that gives this game styles that make total sense, like Final Fantasy X too. Maybe it's saying that the game has two kind of 10s, Yuna and... Don't judge me. Okay, I'm done with this. Let's talk about the game where you kill a false deity and then go home to say your SAT. Persona is an example of a series where every installment has very little to do with one another. They're part of the same universe, but they're all doing their own thing. You get it at this point. It's the simple man's video game. No prime knowledge needed. Just sit down, play Persona 5, go on Twitter, and get called normally for not playing Nocturne.
Kingdom Hearts 2 has screwed us again. High property taxes, overpriced prescription medications. Where was Kingdom Hearts 2 during Hurricane Katrina, eh? Oh, I wish there was something we could do about it.
Harry, there is.
Really?
For the cost of sending an email, we can vote for Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne.
Oh, Para was originally called Lucifer's Call. Why? And guess what? Persona turned out to be a huge success. So, you know what that means. Make a new installment? That's right, make spin-offs. Persona spin-offs tend to take the mid-cool approach with how they try to justify their own existences. And if you don't know what a mid-cool is, any video ranking Disney sequels will get you very familiar with that concept. It's simple, take the characters at some point before the ending, shove them into a new story, or just make them dance.
Guys, it's time to leave!
And screw it, just erase the memory so we don't have to worry about making it fit into the canon. I don't mind this concept. It was worth it tenfold so we could get a rapping Minecraft YouTuber, but I don't have like passionate feelings towards them, you know? At the end of the day though, I'd rather play a new installment, and making a sequel to one installment means that you get a title like Final Fantasy X 2. What? But yeah, Tactica looks cool. I'll sit in my corner of the party playing my weird goofy green hat game. So, Zelda. It's pretty good. It also has some very complicated lore, so buckle up. Ocarina of Time is so good. A tale of perseverance, growing up, and... what is it with these games that want to traumatize children? It also goes into a bunch of weird timeline shenanigans, and I know this is a lore video, but I don't know what's going on this graph, but basically there's the adult, Tails, and Kitty Wink timeline, and they each have their own games. I find this cool. It's some neat lore, but you don't need to know any of it to dive into a new Zelda game and have a great time. The actual stories going on in these games aren't always ones to write home about, but when one works, it really works. So I'm getting pretty sad and honestly kinda creepy at times. And that brings me to Majora's Mask. How did this happen? Like, how is this that good? They made the game in 1 year. And somehow this is one of the best and most unnerving games Nintendo's ever put out. We are talking the most scary Nintendo games, so not much competition there to say the least. But while we're kind of venturing into bad English essay written by a 15-year-old territory, Riku has like PTSD. This game is about people going outside, seeing the inevitable death looming over their heads, and this game has fucking things. Now, why do I say this? The moon. In 3 days, the moon will destroy Termina, and this is a certainty. Unless... So before I move on, I want to show you this one area in Majora's Mask, which I think is genuinely the best location in the entire franchise, that sums up the entire game's thesis in a single, tiny room. The music is one of the greatest tracks in the series, seriously listen to it please, but the actual observatory is the only area in the game where you look through the telescope, and through the blue sky and white clouds, only one thing is wrong. Oh, so wrong. That is this game's main objective, to combine a classic Zelda adventure with the horror of an impending doom, that throughout the entire game, you can only avoid. You don't stop it just in time, you escape it. You are powerless to stop this uncaring, funny little moon god. And so is everyone else, descending into fear as if fate quite literally looms over their heads. Is this too heavy? Should I just move on to... Dark Souls, more like dark ETS game for babies that do baby things like, oh, they played Dark Souls 1 and 2, and no, I didn't beat them, I know I'm a stinky normie. I think the main reason why I stopped was because I didn't know where to go after the part I was on, as in a place that didn't involve a giant skeleton ass-blasting me, throwing me off the cliff, kidnapping my family, and burning my house down. But I guess I could get God skill issue, just use more of your level 10 gear. But I think it'll be fun to compare Dark Souls to Kingdom Hearts. Okay, I'm sorry. In KH3 critical mode, despite a limited health pool, it's way easier to dodge attacks in this game if you just take a break from having the X button. In Dark Souls, you better be married to every choice you make. Anyway, this video is about lore, so what is the lore of this game? I don't know because I'm not good enough to find it. What did you expect? World building? A fleshed out character? A story? No, you gotta work for that shit. Or just look at the Wikipedia article. This game gives you lore through the method of kill this thing first, On something as simple as the run from the bonfire to the boss arena can easily get you killed, getting your hands on any narrative is harder than it looks. However, I kinda hate the narrative pushed by memes and gaming journalists. That Dark Souls is this impossibly difficult journey that only the loneliest of versions can be. Little do these people know that you can be Simone Ornstein and have a social life if you're patient, take your movements very carefully, and punish any wrong move the enemy makes with your own sword that you're a big dime of Shabby. I know that I've now ended realm of discussing gameplay, but that's because I want you to go find the lore. This game may hate you, but I won't cheat. There's never a tanky enemy, fully telegraphed attack, or anything of that caliber. And that's important because this game doesn't need a cheat tactic to be difficult, it just is. So going out there and have fun, you little scamp. I killed this thing. If you want something a tad easier than Dark Souls, which is okay, not all of us can be epic pro gamers, I have a couple recommendations for easier alternatives that I'll put on the screen now if you care. Honestly, I highly recommend Ender Lilies. Hollow Knight fans somehow seem to barely remember this game exists, but it's so good. Also, the high road is not that hard. Learn to avoid the high altitude hogs and you'll be fine. Why are they called that? Well, this is the game with the apples and everybody's favorite power-up, Bonus Ball. There's also the new Crash 4 and the old Crash 4.
Crash, you've been a naughty boy.
Ignore it.
Let's say you've been a bad girl. Let's say, hypothetically, you've been a naughty girlie.
What I mean by this whole godforsaken video is the lore is an important aspect to any video game that isn't a Roblox, albeit it was created 20 years before I was able to play. I could pad the runtime by talking about FNAF or whatever it's called, but who cares if the animatronics get a little quirky at night? Let them film their femboy TikToks in peace for our own children all day. And I think that's a pretty good note to end things. I hope you enjoyed that, everyone. It means a lot to me that you sat through a heaping pile of garbage. My favorite video I ever made is like negative 50 views right now. So if you want to let me steal 40 more minutes of your time but never getting back, give it a look, please. Thank you. No, the crab like money, no, the sponge like fun. No, the star keeps shining, no, the squid likes guns. What we all got in common when the shit's said and done is a dead fucking roach in the city that we run. Eating hella lean, smoking hydro. Da-na-na-na-na. It turns tidal. Wanna hit the reef, it turns tidal. Gary is my shut up, bitch, you go wherever I go. Meow, meow, meow. Cook, Gary hit him with a meow, meow, meow. Cook, Gary hit him with a meow, meow, meow. Cook, Gary hit him with a